Hamilton's rookie quarterback, Jeff Matthews, he has looked progressively better since taking over from the injured Zach Collaros. And the Ticats, with the benefit of an Argo loss earlier tonight, looking to widen their gap for first in the East. And as for this man, Jonathan Jennings, getting set to make just his 5th CFL start, he too has had very good numbers and looked very promising in a night that the Lions really need a victory after the Alouettes put ahead of them with that victory in the crossover position right now at 6-10. So welcome back. Part 2 of our doubleheader tonight in Wendy's Friday Night Football. Rod Smith along with the panel of Mike Benavides and Jock Climby and Chris Schultz. So yes, that is the situation right now as we pay attention to the standings in the East and also the crossover possibility in the West standings too. First of all, the crossover. Montreal with that big victory tonight earlier in Hamilton over the Argos at 6-10 now. So 2 points ahead of the Lions, who can match them with a victory tonight, and by virtue of that, they would have a playoff spot. Winnipeg still in the mix as well. In the East, well, the Ticats, they are looking to improve to 11-5. The Argos losing, falling to 9-7. Ottawa in the mix, and with 2 games coming up to finish the season against the Tiger Cats. That'll be interesting, too, in the Eastern picture. Schultz, what are you looking for in this Ticat-Lions game?
Well, Rod, I love the way you described the 2 quarterbacks because that is the truth. Right now with Matthews in the Hamilton Ticats, he's progressively getting better. But Jonathan Jennings has spectacular moments. Guys, he has 10 passes of over 30 yards. Now, in this league, you don't get a lot of long drives for touchdowns. You make singular big plays. I think BC has the opportunity tonight.
Yeah, he's certainly done some spectacular things, but he's got 7 interceptions, and he's going up against the team that leads the league in takeaways in the Hamilton Ticats. This is going to be a great test for both quarterbacks, because I think both coaches want to see these quarterbacks learn to manage the game. Don't be the game, and this defense of the Hamilton Ticats is going to be a huge challenge for Jennings to prove that he can do that.
It is, Jacques, but these 2 teams are very, very different from the last time they played when they played on August 15th. The defense of the Hamilton Tiger Cats was #1 in the first 8-10 games. In the last 6, not so much. And the BC Lions are a different team. No Solomon, obviously different quarterback, and Jennings is a very good quarterback. They believe in him, but they're not finishing. In the fourth quarter, they're terrible right now scoring points. They've scored 2 points in the last 4 quarters, in the last 4 games. So they have to play better team football.
Yeah. Well, once again, more pressure in the BC Lions now in light of the Montreal victory if they want to match them in the standings. And I can tell you that Lee Roger of Cranbrook, BC, is an opportunity to win the ultimate $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics if a kickoff's returned for a touchdown in this game tonight, thanks to Safeway's Touchdown to Win promotion. And if it happens for a second time in this game, you can also win $1 million, Lee. Good luck with that. Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter standing by at BC Place in Vancouver. Here come the Lions up against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Part 2 about to kick off here in Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Great night for football in Vancouver. We're set for a cat fight with playoff implications at BC Place Stadium. It's the Ticats and the Lions.
2 young guns will go head-to-head tonight in a very important game for both teams. For the Lions, Jonathan Jennings, he's averaged over 300 yards passing in his 4 starts, but the team has only managed 1 win over those 4 games. Jeff Matthews is 2-1 in his first 3 starting for the Hamilton Tiger Cats and has led the team to back-to-back wins the last 2 weeks over Saskatchewan and Montreal.
Ken Austin's Ticats leading the East and looking for their 5th consecutive road victory. Would be their first win in 4 years here in Vancouver. Jeff Tedford's Lions now 3rd in that 3-team race for the final playoff spot. They need a win to help extend an 18-year playoff streak in BC. Brandon Banks is deep. The Ticats won the toss and will receive the football to start proceedings here. 52-22, the Ticats got off to a quick start in mid-August and never looked back in a one-sided meeting at Tim Hortons Place. Will it be different tonight? Banks works his way over the 35-yard line and sets it up for the Ticats just shy of the 40 with a penalty flag down.
It'll be offside for the BC Lions on the kickoff. 29. That penalty to be declined. First down, Hamilton.
And Nelson will take the field position and decline the penalty.
I mentioned Jeff Matthews off to a 2-1 start He's got some weapons, including C.J. Gable in the backfield, back after missing 10 games due to injury. Great in pass protection. What a catch by Tasker against Montreal last week. And in the last 2 games, Terrell Sinkfield for 250 yards.
Andy Van Toos in his second game back in the offense, second passing, and there is C.J. Gable returning to the lineup. Just his 3rd game of the year, and he had a 135-yard rushing game against Saskatchewan, and then a elbow injury against Toronto.
Well, the matchup will be Gable against Adam Bighill, who leads the CFL with 99 tackles. Not far behind him is a defensive back in TJ Lee, having a big season, 4 interceptions, leads the BC Lions. And Ryan Phillips, when you're talking career leaders, no one has more that's currently playing than Ryan Phillips at 43.
Greg Rowe, a late scratch for the Lions at defensive end. 7 for Gable, 2nd and 3. Matthews, quick hitter, hits the seam, and Luke Tasker's away, and they're not going to catch him. It's a Ticat touchdown. 64 yards, Matthews to Tasker, and it's another quick start for the Ticats.
Well, he had that 100-yard game a week ago, and he picks up where he left off as this ball and the timing on the throw to hit Tasker in the seam just behind Hoffman Ellis and in front of the safety Eric Fraser. Tasker does the rest from there. What a start for the road team.
6th touchdown of the season for Luke Tasker. Lions have only given up 2 first possession touchdowns this season. Both have been scored by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And the extra point was tipped and knuckled into the end zone. Iannuzzi will bring it out. And Iannuzzi still going. He'll get caught back at the 45-yard line. So the Ticats don't convert after the 2nd down conversion catch. It goes 64 for a Luke Tasker touchdown.
Let's go back to that touchdown. Luke Tasker on the seam route, and it's about the timing of the throw from Jeff Matthews. He's got to throw it right in the hole here. If he throws it a little early, it'll be in the linebacking core, and Alex Hoffman Ellis has a chance. Stop it there. If he throws it just a little bit early, the linebacker's got it. Safety right in behind. He finds the hole, threads the needle. It's on time, giving Tasker a chance to beat Eric Fraser in the open field, and he does the rest.
Longest reception of the year for Tasker. And a quick score for the Ticats. Chris Rainey on the return. Runs through an arm tackle and scampers out around the 45-yard line. Check that Shaq Murray Lawrence on the return. So Tasker the touchdown, and wondered if that extra point had been partially blocked. Let's have a look.
Hold looks good. No, it was just a...
That looks like Cuthbert off the 3rd tee.
Give you a mulligan.
Here's Harris. Didn't get anything going last week, and not much there for Andrew Harris on his first carry of the game.
Jonathan Jennings in his 4 starts averaging 300 yards passing per game, but they just have to find a way to finish. The guy who's been on fire when Jennings as the starter has been Manny Arsenal. Almost 450 yards for Arsenal since Jennings has been in the lineup. And the guy that's working well with Arsenal is Lavelle Hawkins.
2nd and 8. Here comes pressure. Quick release. There's Hawkins. Crosser. And Hawkins stopped just short of the midfield stripe. He had to get there for a first down. Brought down by Taylor Reed. It's going to be 3rd and short. Jonathan Jennings stays in with the short yardage team. It was an issue last week down around the goal line. No issue here for Jennings as he plunges for a first down.
Well, it was a real turning point in that game against the Edmonton Eskimos, a game again that the BC Lions had a chance and didn't finish. Down on the goal line, Greg McGee went down and fumbled the football out of the center. Dion Lacey picks it up and takes it back out of the end zone. Lions would have gone up a possession there.
First down into the hands of Austin Cauley, and he's brought down at the 46-yard line. Courtney Stephen on the scene. Cauley with a couple of touchdowns in that one-sided loss against the Ticats. So an 8-yard pickup for Cauley, 2nd and 2. Harris leaves the backfield, and the pass is caught, complete to Arsenault. Another Lion first down. Who just try and stay close to the Ticats in the first quarter. Hamilton has dominated the first quarter. They've outscored their opponents 148-42 the opening 15 minutes.
Yeah, you got to keep pace with Hamilton. They love that first quarter. They get out to big lead, and they can do it in all three phases.
Harris again on the ground, and not much there. 6 carries, 2 yards against Edmonton.
And it's led by this defense, especially as they work in a young quarterback in Jeff Matthews. One of the best defensive backs in the league this year has been Emmanuel Davis, putting together a great season. 3 touchdowns on 5 interceptions. Rico Murray is back on the short side corner. And I think the unsung hero might be Eric Harris.
Jennings in trouble, got tripped up, safety blitz, and Craig Butler gets home for his 3rd sack of the season to halt the Lions' opening drive.
Yeah, you're right. It was Craig Butler coming up off the edge here. Simone Lawrence coming as well. And you take a look at the backside. Jonathan Jennings tried to escape to his right, but Butler with a big push, and he dives and trips up Jennings. Simone Lawrence finishes it off.
Ticats did not have a sack in 2 of their last 3 games. Get one early here. Leone flags down from an area that tells you there might be too many men on the field. And Banks gets dropped inside the 5-yard line. What's the call? Flags from the back official. Jeff Tedford might like the field position if it is against Hamilton.
Too many men. Hamilton. Penalty to be declined. First down, Hamilton.
So it will be the Ticat ball down around the 2-yard line. But what a start for Jeff Matthews, Luke Tasker, and the Hamilton offense. Ball is brought to you by Wendy's Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt. It's back, but only at Wendy's. Now that's better.
What Ken Austin's got to like, and what's been better for his football team is the play of his young quarterback in Jeff Matthews. Not thrown an interception in the last 2 games, 2 wins for Hamilton. That throw to Tasker was bang on to start this one.
5th touchdown pass of the year. Play action fake, in trouble in the end zone, gets it away. And that ball falls incomplete. Intended for Junior Collins. And fortunately for Matthews, it hits the turf.
Tried to gun this in tight coverage. He just tried to strong arm this after he felt the pocket collapse around him. And lucky that this one didn't get intercepted. Just tried to strong arm it with coverage right there. And Adam Bighill trying to get the tip.
Olacombo turned the heat up. 2nd and 10. Here comes pressure. Matthews, nutball tipped to the line and falls incomplete. Quick 2 and out. And likely a safety upcoming.
Again, an inside move here from Kareem Smith. It looks like coming in here, and then a bit of a twist with he and Jabbar Westerman from the inside coming back out and looping around. It looks like Kareem Smith gets the left or right hand up and knocks that one out of the air.
36-year-old defensive end, 2nd knockdown of the year. And Medlock won't kick it out of the end zone. He'll step out, give up 2. So the Lions get on the board, and they'll have the football. See what Jonathan Jennings can generate on his second possession when we come back to BC Place. Ten is brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. So it's 6-2, the 2 points surrendered by Hamilton, the first quarter points that they've given up in the last 5 games. And now to kick it off, Brady and Murray Lawrence are deep. And this time it is Rainey. Breaks the first tackle, reverses field, and opens up. Inside the 45, Caldwell can't catch him, and now brought down. A touchdown saving tackle by Mike Edom, but Chris Rainey has done it again.
Well, sometimes it's about the execution and the return and the blocks that the returner gets. This is going to be a short field return to his left, to Rainey's left, but he gets spun around and breaks that first tackle, and then he does the rest on his own, goes away from the return for a 67-yarder.
Leads the league in punt return and kickoff return average, and sets up Jonathan Jennings and the Lions first down at the 20. Fake to Harris, has some time, end zone shot, and touchdown, Sean Gore! Little Lions quick strike here.
Taking advantage of the Chris Rainey return and the momentum gained by it. And Jonathan Jennings can throw this seam route as good as I've seen in a long time. He can put some heat on it, and he leads Sean Gore right down this seam on the skinny post. And look at that, right out in front where Rico Murray can't get his hands on it. What a throw from Jonathan Jennings.
Sean Gore didn't have a catch against the Ticats in the first meeting. Gets a big one early here. Now Leone, who has had trouble with the extra points, takes that one.
Last week against Edmonton, Sean Gore had a key drop in that game. A couple of catches as well, but a drop that may have been a difference maker. He gets rid of that bad feeling with a good catch here, but maybe the most impressive part of John Jennings' game is his ability to throw this seam route and put it right on receivers. And it gets there quickly, right down the seam, and it's impossible to defend.
Oh, we're off to a pretty good start.
Young gun slinging it out of the gate.
A couple of guys who know each other from NFL camps where they compared notes. Matthews, the quarterback at Cornell, and Cornell tried to recruit Jonathan Jennings as a safety. He had other ideas. That was just before Ken Austin took over.
Yeah, said Jeff Matthews is their quarterback, and Matthews broke all kinds of records in the Ivy League with Ken Austin as coach, and Jonathan Jennings went on to Saginaw Valley State.
Banks, who has not been as dangerous on kickoff returns, is angled out here after a short return, and Matthews goes back to work with C.J. Gable at his side.
C.J. Gable missed the first 3 games of the season due to injury, came back for a couple, and then has missed the last 10 over the last 2 years, from 13 to 14 in 22 games, 15 as a rookie, 7 last year. There are his numbers. But what's most impressive about C.J. Gable, and what his coach will tell you first and foremost that he likes about him, is his ability to protect the quarterback.
See him wearing the brace on the left elbow. First down. Matthews to pass. Looking for Tasker again, and incomplete, stretched out with TJ Lee in coverage. That's a good matchup tonight.
Well, TJ Lee is going to have to make plays like that and be in coverage as tight as he is on this last one on Luke Tasker, because Tasker has been Matthews' go-to guy. You think about that 100 yards last week, the big catch to start this game. TJ Lee has 4 picks, leads the team, the BC Lions, in knockdowns as well, has been their best DB.
Tasker scoring his 6th touchdown of the season tonight. 3 of them have come against the Lions. It's 2nd and 10. Just get the play off. Matthews throwing for Sickfield, and quick close there to bring him down from Stephen Clark, the corner. And it's a 2nd consecutive 2-and-out for the Ticats.
Good tackle by Stephen Clark, former Vanderbilt Commodore. Comes up off the edge, leads the defensive backs in tackles outside of TJ Lee. He's right behind him. Good, solid tackle in the open field.
Medlock to punt. High, not deep. Rainey, 46-yard line. 35-yard punt, and he reaches midfield before he is bumped out. Jonathan Jennings back to work. His last pass, a 20-yard touchdown strike to Sean Gore to put the Lions on top. And starter Travis Lulay, and with more on him, let's join Dustin Nielsen on the sidelines.
Yeah, for the first time this season, Travis Lulay is watching from the sidelines at 100% full strength. He's good to go. He looked very good in warm-up today. He has a ton of energy, and he desperately wants a shot to get his job back. In the meantime, Coach Tedford has nothing but praise for the role Lulay has taken as a mentor for Jonathan Jennings.
That mentorship really started in training camp, and it continues. And as much as Lulay wants to be in, he understands.
He's got a hot quarterback playing right now, and he gets it. But I talked to both Travis Lulay and Jeff Tedford yesterday, and Tedford raved about how much of a leader Lulay has been in helping Jonathan Jennings practice in the meeting rooms, watching tape. Unselfish player, and he understands how frustrating he is. Wants to get back in there.
Pressure on, they screen to Harris. Harris looked one way, the ball over the other shoulder, incomplete. That's the first incompletion for Jennings tonight.
But, from the outside looking in, I think BC Lion fans will agree that we're seeing a transition here. I mean, Travis Lulay has been a great leader for this team for a long time, and I'm not suggesting we won't see him down the stretch here and possibly into the playoffs if the Lions get there. We're seeing a young star emerge in Jonathan Jennings.
2nd and 10. Here comes Rico Murray on the blitz. Ball thrown up and incomplete. Austin Colley unable to bring it down. Emmanuel Davis there in coverage.
A couple of the top DBs in the league this year playing in this game tonight. Emmanuel Davis is one of them. Showed you as a player to watch for the Hamilton Ticats on defense. 3 touchdowns and his 5 interceptions. That's the glory stat, but he also leads the team in knockdowns in double figures there. There's another one. That's his 12th on the season.
Leone punting to the dangerous Brandon Banks. Looking for another pin. Blast that one bouncing down around the 5. 49-yard punt. Banks doesn't have much room. Good punt cover by BC. So after the second play that goes 64 yards for a touchdown, Jeff Matthews looking for his next first down.
Well, these are his last 2 starts. Wins against Saskatchewan and Montreal. Look at that completion percentage, over 300 yards per game and no interceptions, as I mentioned off the top. So starting to settle in with this offense, take that leadership role. Now he's got to try and get out of this whole field position issue they've had.
Last week, 21 of 25 against Montreal. Highly efficient. And off Gable, not much inside. Graham Smith there along with Alex Hoffman-Ellis.
Different style quarterbacks, he and Jennings. You see more of throws on the roll and on the run from Jennings. He'll try and gun it into that seam. Matthews is more of that typical drop back pocket passer. 6'4", tall guy. He can move, but he's not going to throw on the run quite the same as Jonathan Jennings.
2nd and 9. Gable releases. There is Gable with the catch and upended at the 18. He'll be short of the first down.
Ronnie Yell stepped up, helped out Alex Hoffman-Ellis. That's back-to-back defensive series for the BC Lions where their secondary has come up and made key tackles. There's Gable coming out of the backfield on the screen here. It looks like it's well executed with blockers out front, makes the first man miss, and there's Yell.
Medlock a better boot. Iannuzzi backpedals to his 41. It's a 50-yard punt. And Iannuzzi, good return across midfield, but there is a flag. 16-yard return for Iannuzzi. Arnaud Gascon-Nadon with the special teams tackle.
During the return, holding BC, number 9, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Chris Rabakamba called on the hold, and that will back them up. We talked to Jeff Matthews yesterday about the guy he's going against, Jonathan Jennings.
It was cool to just kind of hang out for the day. You know, you go and throw the ball and stuff, and obviously knew he was a good player. I got to throw with him, and he can really spin it. So it was cool. We got to hang out a little bit, and you know, we both, or he mentioned more so that he was thinking about coming up to play in the CFL, and I knew about it because of Luke and Coach Austin and everybody. So I'm glad it worked out well for him, and he was a good guy, and I wish him the best.
Is at a Green Bay Packer free agent camp. He can spin it. Matthews can spin it too, and
yeah,
he just spun it to Sean Gore. Well, close to a first down.
They can both spin it, and they can both spin it in different ways. One from more of an athletic quarterback style in Jennings, and ball forward, and it looks like short yardage. They will leave their starter in.
That went hurry up again. Jennings got pushed back, and a flag flies. Looked like he had enough of a surge.
Now that'll be a late hit. That'll be unnecessary roughness on Brandon Stewart.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 9. 15 yards at the end of the play, first down.
You can't yank at the guy's legs from the back of the pile like Brandon Stewart did there, but
takes the ball into Ticat territory down to the Hamilton 50.
And just take a look again, and Brandon Banks is trying to, or Stewart is trying to pull and yank at the ankle and knee of the quarterback, and yeah, that's going to be called.
Lions have enjoyed great field position here in the first half. They have not enjoyed establishing a running game, though, and this is a story that continues. The leading rusher in the league just hasn't been able to get it going for the last few weeks.
Now, I asked Jeff Tedford about that yesterday, and he said, you know, we know what Andrew Harris can do, and we're trying to get him involved. We're trying to execute the run game well, and if it gets there, we'll just keep doing it. We'll keep working Harris, but we're not going to hit our heads against the wall if it's not.
Harris playing in his 100th CFL game today. A little shovel here, and that one not going anywhere either. Harris dropped by the big defensive tackle, Brian Hall.
It's going to be tough to run against this Hamilton defense as well with those two guys in the middle, Ted Laurent and Brian Hall, as you mentioned. In order to run the ball, you've got to move the interior D lineman, and it's like trying to move a mountain in there.
Thanks. So another chance for Leone to try and pin the Ticats. Hamilton has not pressured him yet. 46-yard punt. Here comes Banks. Cuts it back inside and gets dumped around the 15 with a flag down. I'd like to welcome viewers watching the Winnipeg Jets on TSN3. We're late first quarter here at BC Place.
Illegal block, Hamilton, number 2. Half distance to goal, first down.
Mike Edom called on the illegal block. It's 9-6 BC. Early touchdown from Jeff Matthews to Luke Tasker. Convert was missed, and then a quick response by the Ticats, and they have a touchdown from Jonathan Jennings to Sean Gore.
But this is the third series in a row. Hamilton's been inside their own 20 to start their drive. They can't get out of this field position hole, although BC not taking full advantage of this field position.
3 2-and-outs for the Ticats since an opening possession touchdown. Pitch is caught up at the 10. The ball popped loose. Junior Collins lost the handle. Was he down? Lions get on the football.
Take another look here. Was it out before that knee touches? This is a better angle. Knee down.
Well, it's almost simultaneous. We got a challenge from the Lions bench.
And as soon as that replay showed on the big screen here, the challenge came out from Jeff Tedford. Knee touch there.
Ball was out. It was almost simultaneous.
Ruling on the field is Hamilton football. This is close. It does appear like the ball is coming out a split second before the knee touches.
BC is challenging the previous play as a fumble recovered by them. It will be reviewed.
Okay, let's take one more look here. Ball is knocked loose there. You're right, Chris. It looked like it was knocked loose just prior to the knee touching. Ball is loose there, and the knee has not touched the ground yet. There's the ball right there. And do the Lions recover immediately? And I think they did.
You can see the Lions reacting immediately that they had the football. Zach Minter among them. Was it Big Hill or, oh, it's Mikhail Brooks who comes up with the ball. Brooks pointing at the scoreboard, saying, "There's the evidence."
Yeah, it's right there. One of the topics of discussion at Lions practice yesterday was the giveaway takeaway category and how dominant Hamilton has been. Jeff Tedford saying that's one area that we've got to see if we can win against Hamilton to have a chance to beat them, because they're so good at it at plus 20, way ahead of every other team in the league in the giveaway takeaway.
They've only lost the turnover battle 4 times this year, and they've lost those 4 games. Taken longer than you'd expect.
After review, the ball carrier fumbled the ball prior to going down for contact. The ball was immediately recovered by BC. The ball will be placed at the 9.5-yard line. First down, BC.
Big turnover for BC. And a chance to take advantage of, as you mentioned, how good the field position has been throughout this opening 15 minutes. First and goal just inside the 10. 3 receivers to the near side. Jennings looking the other way. Touchdown! Manny Arsenault's got another. 9th touchdown of the year. The Manny Show has been heating up.
And Jonathan Jennings can thread this ball through a portal, let alone a window. I mean, he can put that ball on the receiver on the slant. 3 Hamilton Tiger Cats around Manny Arsenault. Butler there immediately with the hit, but the ball hits between the 8 and the 4 in a split second.
6th touchdown for Arsenault in the last 13 quarters.
He can spin it.
Jonathan Jennings and Arsenault on the same page, yes.
Oh, yeah. Arsenault's been a different receiver since Jennings has started. 450 yards in 4 games.
Greg Butler was injured on that last play and slowly making his way to the Ticats sidelines.
He's moving that arm around. That may be a stinger. He tried to put a hit there on Manny Arsenault.
So here's Leone, 24 of 32 in convert attempts this season. Right down the middle. Good first quarter for Jeff Tedford's team.
Gets press coverage. Rico Murray is not backing off of Manny Arsenault. Sits up there, the slant route, and you can see that just threads it between Taylor Reed, Rico Murray, and the safety, and Craig Butler coming down, finds that little hole, spins it right in there at Arsenault. Before it begins to become a drinking game, that'll be the last time I mention spinning it.
Jeff Matthews started it.
Happy birthday to my dog Solomon Elamimian, MOP, number 56, and shout out to my O-line. Thanks to my quarterback. Let's go. Free Courtney Taylor. What's up?
56 watching from our level here tonight.
Well, first 10.5 games for Manny Arsenault, and there was some criticism in this market saying that Manny Arsenault had to play better after those first 10.5, and then Jonathan Jennings got the start, almost identical numbers in half of the games, basically, less than half. Happy birthday to Solomon Elamimian, yeah. Up in the spotter's booth.
Taylor. So it's a 10-point BC lead as Brandon Banks tries to kickstart something for the Ticats. Out beyond the 30 before he gets upended. Ronnie Yell on the scene.
Banks had a good return against BC in their first matchup of the season. And a receiving touchdown. He looks like he's getting close.
So since the two-play touchdown drive, this is how rare it is for Ticats to be trailing in the first quarter. I'm going to say since the first two-play touchdown drive, 3 2-and-outs and the fumble now for this Hamilton offense. Gable, short yardage. Give him 3.
Bring in Fantus and new personnel grouping with Junior Collins and Andy Fantus on 2nd and long. Just a couple of catches in his first game back from injury for Fantus. He had 2 for 16. He worked his way back in after the elbow injury.
Final play, first quarter, 2nd and 7. Matthews throwing, and it's caught. It's a first down catch. Terrell Sickfield in that all-star matchup with TJ Lee III, a 15-yard pickup, and a first down for the Ticats, who got off to that quick start. There's the 64-yarder to Tasker, but after that, it was Jonathan Jennings and the Lions, and they lead it 16-6 after 1 quarter in Vancouver. Just the 3rd time all season Hamilton's been outscored in the first quarter.
I had a conversation with Jeff Tedford yesterday, and he said how important it was for the Lions to get out to a good start. He said when they faced Hamilton the first time early in the season, it just started to snowball so quickly in that first quarter. Hamilton ended up scoring over 50 points in that game. He said we got to get off to a good start. They had the field position advantage, Chris, and they finally took care of it. So now they get off to that good start they wanted.
Yes, the good start after a 2-play touchdown drive by the Ticats early, but after that it was all BC. Ticats trying to turn that momentum around here in the second quarter. First down up at their own 50-yard line. Finally some decent field position. Fake to Gable, and the pass to Tasker, who gets punished. Phillips and Big Hill combined.
Second down conversion just before the end of the first quarter to Terrell Sinkfield, who running on TJ Lee, runs the out route, tight coverage by Lee, but wins the contested catch. That gives some breathing room to Hamilton. See if they can convert here and keep the drive alive.
2nd and 6. Four-man rush, pocket collapses. Kareem Smith gets home and has his 5th sack of the year, number 35 in his career.
You know, he sort of steps up the field and kind of is patient on this pass rush. He's going to come up the field, be a little bit patient, and then come underneath and get right down the middle lane to Jeff Matthews. Steps up the field, gets chipped there, and then just is patiently stalking Matthews and corrals him.
Didn't have a sack in the first meeting against the Ticats. Kareem Smith gets the first for the Lions. 35-yard punt, and Iannuzzi out to the 38-yard line. Mike Edom with another special teams play for Hamilton.
Two touchdown throws in quarter one for Jonathan Jennings. You remember, you go back to one of his starts against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, a 3-point loss in that game. He had over 300 yards passing in the first half against Winnipeg.
And now 12 touchdown passes in 4.5 games as the BC starter. Looking for a big shot here. Downfield, Burnham's got it! In tight coverage, he brings it down. Working against Brandon Stewart. Another big play for the BC offense. It's a 47-yard completion.
Well, this is the other thing that Jonathan Jennings is not afraid to do, and that's take the ball downtown and go for the deep shot. I mean, this time it's Brian Burnham, and this one in stride as Burnham is covered pretty well by Brandon Stewart.
Burnham's biggest catch of the year. First down at the Hamilton 25. And it's Rainey, nice grab. First down, touchdown. Highlight reel touchdown for Chris Rainey.
Well, that'll get you up out of your seat. Ball thrown a little behind him, and he stabs it with one hand, tips it to himself, and then the fun begins. What a move in the open field on Rico Murray.
And then goes airborne. So you got the catch, the move,
and the finish.
First touchdown catch for Rainey, who has a couple on returns. Leone adds the extra point. Performance the Lions desperately needed as they open up a 17-point first half lead.
The all-new Fiat 5.
Holding call on the convert, so the Lions are going to have to do it again. 10 yards further back, it'll be a 42-yard convert attempt for Leone. No chip shot anymore, is it?
No. 42-yarder.
But he's got that. And it is a 17-point lead for the Lions. Shaw Road to the Grey Cup continues tomorrow. Doubleheader action. First, the Red Blacks take on the Blue Bombers, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Then it's the Eskimos and the Rough Riders at Mosaic, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Catch both games across the TSN network. Ottawa, Winnipeg, interested spectators on this result here tonight.
Chris Rainey gets an assist from his teammate Brian Burnham on here. Burnham's right here, and he's going to run this little bit of a seam curl route with the under from Chris Rainey. And Burnham takes 3 defenders with him. Watch number 16. Hold it right there. He's got 3 defenders. That opens up Rainey underneath. He gets the one-hand catch from behind him and does the rest, and it is pretty to watch.
So Gore, Arsenault, and Rainey all have caught touchdown passes in this first half. David Caldwell on the return. And Caldwell out beyond the 30.
That move that Rainey put on Rico Murray. I mean, Murray had a good angle on him, and right here, he just a little inside cut. Now you see him, and now you don't. That is flat out quicks. Not a bad finish either. Give him a 10 out of 10 on that one.
8 games and into the top 10 in all-purpose yards. Here's Matthews. Look into Underwood, and he's stacked up around the 38-yard line. 8-yard pickup on the first catch of the game for Underwood.
Now real important to get a drive together for Chris Matthews. Or excuse me, Jeff Matthews coming out of this deficit now. He's got to put some first downs together and at the very least give his defense a break and let them regroup.
Second and 2, they're throwing, or are they? Matthews steps up, and he's going to be short of the first down, it looks like. See if Ken Austin leaves the short yardage team on. They'll send out Tim O'Neill and C.O. Prime.
Big hit here from Hoffman Ellis. He was on his pass rush, but cut back underneath that. Cord Howard and got there to make the hit.
So third down, and it looks like a full yard. And the surge, Matthews off the right side. Over top Ryan Bombin, the right guard, who just signed a 3-year extension. Mike Filer, the center. And with that push,
Offside.
they should have first
BC,
down.
number 44. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And they do have a first down, and 5 yards further up on the offside against Adam Big Hill.
There's some playmakers in this game. Luke Tasker, you've already seen in the end zone. Terrell Sigfield, we haven't seen a lot. Just that one nice catch on the out. Playmakers at the disposal of both these quarterbacks.
Should mention Big Hill's been credited with the tackle, which is number 100 on the season for him. First down for Matthews. Pressure coming again. Steps up and he gets taken down. David Menard. And it will be a sack, the second of the game for the Lions defense. And Menard celebrates his 5th of the season.
Craig Rowe was a late scratch for the BC Lions. Injured in practice. So Menard's going to roll in and get more reps tonight because of it. We'll see Alex Bazzi as well, but that's just a double team that he continues to fight, continues to work, and when Matthews tries to step up, he gets there. Green Smith's having his best start I've seen to a game in some time. Whoa.
Westerman with the early move, and he's trying to sell that he was drawn. The officials will conference.
Offside. BC, number 99. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Well, he tried.
Yeah.
When you're that far offside, you better make it as if somebody drew you off.
There he is there, but focus on the right side. That would be what he was focusing on, the offensive line. Just maybe Filer a little bit of a nudge, but not enough to draw a procedure call.
So 2nd and 7. Here comes TJ Lee on the blitz. Matthews gets it away, complete. It's a first down, and Tasker gets forced back by Adam Bighill. Second time in his career, Bighill's been over 100 tackles in a season. And we've got Ryan Bobbin down, the right guard, after the play.
4 receivers to the right side for Jeff Matthews. Little curl route in the zone. And Matthews knew it was zone before they snapped the ball because C.J. Gable came out of the backfield and lined up on the short side as a wide receiver. And the Lions did not adjust by bringing a linebacker out to cover the running back. So that way Jeff Matthews knew before he called for the ball that it was going to be a zone, and he knew he had Tasker on that curl.
Had ankle issues this year, and they've been rolled up on again. So Tim O'Neill, the 9-year vet, will check in on that offensive line for Ryan Bobbin. Burlington native and a big off-season acquisition. There's 55 in the little table tennis rankings, and O'Neill's among the leaders. You wouldn't have guessed that. That cat-like quickness at right guard. More pressure. Matthews takes off. Big Hill pressure. They try and stretch it out, and incomplete. Junior Collins, the intended target, and there was Stephen Clark in coverage.
Mentioned Kareem Smith. Been a quiet season for Kareem Smith. He does have 4 sacks, 19 tackles, but a guy who 31 career sacks coming in, and a guy who has been a dominant pass rusher. He's a guy who flushed Jeff Matthews again on that last play with just a great speed rush from the stand-up position, and he's going to flush Matthews again. He's the guy who caused problems on Menard's sack for Matthews.
2nd and 10, more heat. And look out, Barry back at the 47-yard line. Alex Bazzi this time, and this is as good as we've seen from the front of the BC Lions.
Run a lot more games and stunts up front. This time it's Westerman and Bazzi, where Jabbar Westerman goes and tries to attack the inside shoulder of the left tackle and has Bazzi come underneath. Now that flushes Matthews, and then Bazzi hustles and gets him the 2nd attempt.
BC 8th in sacks coming into the week, and 3 so far in this game. Iannuzzi on the return after a 45-yard punt. Lions with a 17-point lead on a beautiful night in Vancouver. Game day pictures and videos on Twitter and Instagram using the hashtag MarksFanCam, and you could be featured on the CFL on TSN. Visit tsn.ca/MarksFanCam for terms.
Look at that guy with the headset on back there, listening to the show live in there, I think, Wi-Fi.
Lions fans like what they've seen so far here tonight, midway through the 2nd quarter, and Jonathan Jennings airing it out again for Gore, who can't make the over-the-shoulder grab up against Courtney Stephen.
Sean Gore has all of a sudden become a more important target, even though he lines up on the wide side of the field, because Jonathan Jennings get the ball out there. I mean, he barely got into his throwing motion and threw that one 65 yards to the outside shoulder of his wide receiver to the wide side of the field. That's a long throw.
2nd and 10. Harris showing blitz. Here he comes to get it away quickly to Arsenault, and he is taken down. Sure tackle. Courtney Stephen once again. Back-to-back defensive plays for the field corner of the Ticats.
Had an interception when these two teams faced early in the year. Has 4 on the season. Big year for Courtney Stephen.
Yep, and interceptions in the last 2 games as well. So Hamilton needed a quick stop to get the ball back, and they could use a big return for Brandon Banks. Flag comes down. This doesn't get off, and they had something going there.
Yes, they did.
Gainey off the edge, and he thought he had a block. might be the best penalty the Lions take this year.
Yeah, no question. I mean, the Hamilton Tiger Cats are flirting with the CFL record in block kicks in a single season.
And Jeff Tedford's crew has had their share of issues protecting the punter. Back up 5 and get to reset. This time he's got time to get it away. Hanks from the 30. 49-yard punt, and what a great takedown. There's the captain on special teams, Jason Araki, with his 173rd career special teams tackle. Good to see that Jeff Matthews is okay, going back to work when we return. New Gotham, followed by Blind Spot, Monday at 8, 7 Central on CTV. Ticat fan in the house, hoping their team can close the gap here in the late stages of the first half. Gable the ball carrier, and CJ Gable has about 3. Mikhail Brooks in on another tackle along with Westerman.
Every offense needs speed. And for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the burner is Terrell Singfield, who can get down the field in a hurry. Look at that bottom number, 4.19 in his 40-yard dash at Pro Day for Terrell Singfield. That is flat out flying.
That was so off the charts, everybody thought the timing was malfunctioning. 6 of the last 8 games, he's had at least 90 yards receiving. Catch by Tasker, dragged down by Josh Johnson, and that tackle may have set up a 3rd down here. Let's see where forward progress is given. It looks like it's going to be 3rd and 1.
That speed works in combination with a guy like Luke Tasker and Andy Fantus. Because when you have speed in your lineup like Singfield, he pushes guys off, and Tasker then gets more room underneath because your speed guys getting DBs to turn or at least backpedal out of there, and your possession receivers get more space.
Call for a measurement. It's a half-yard short. Terrell Singfield was benched for 3 games, and since he's come back, he's been on fire.
Absolutely. Healthy scratch for those games.
You noted Ryan Bombin has returned here in the short yardage grouping. Tim O'Neill and Bombin. Their lines up at tight end. And Matthews' second effort may have got it, but that veer to the right on his first surge wasn't very decisive.
Well, I don't think he had it on the first one. Looked like that second effort, he fell back into the middle and may have got there, but they're gonna bring him in, take a measure, and they've got an injury at the bottom
somebody
of the pile.
at the bottom of the pile, and they were calling for assistance almost right away.
But that initial surge there, no shot that he get it there, and then that second push and leap over the pile.
Third downs have been an adventure this season for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Just 73% success rate. And this one just by the nose of the football. And underneath that pile was Cord Howard, the left tackle, just his second game. And this is another issue for the Ticats. They're going through offensive linemen now. And you can see the reaction to the head coach. They say that Joel Figueroa could be back next week. Howard, who spent some time in Winnipeg. 12 games last year and picked up by the Ticats in September.
Not much movement out of that right arm. He's just trying to, there he goes, straighten that out. Now Bombin stays in. He left with looked like an ankle injury or lower leg anyway.
So he was the right guard, and short yardage he was the tight end. And is he moving out to left tackle? Looks like that's the case. So when you sign a 3-year extension, you never know how you're going to have to earn your money. And here comes the pressure, but they screen it off, and Gable with a big gain. And a first down into BC territory to the 51. It's a 12-yard pass and run for C.J. Gable.
What a great call by Tommy Condell and Ken Austin offensively, because with Bauman at tackle there, it was Kareem Smith coming hard off the edge, and Bauman couldn't really get there, but it was the screen set up, so they wanted to let him go by, so Bauman wasn't forced in that one-on-one, and Condell, a great call to allow his injured tackle to settle in.
And not only a change of position, but playing hurt as well. First down. Matthews has time here, but can't make the connection to Tasker. Hoffman Ellis.
And here again is play calling to help out an injured offensive lineman, because that's the first screen play. So they call one that they're going to let him go and not put Bauman in that one-on-one. The very next play, he cut blocked on a play where the protection is. Don't worry about a one-on-one pass protect or pass pro. You go ahead and cut your defensive lineman in front of you.
They got the playoff, they didn't, and it's going to be a time count.
Time count violation. Hamilton, number 15. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
And with that, they are going to give the benches the 3-minute warning. Ticat football, but trailing 23-6 late first half.
The week starts with 2 5-10 teams, both playing well above their records. We'll talk about what the Lions have been able to do to the Ticats so far, and Montreal's demolition of the Argos to make that race for the final playoff spot that much more interesting. Back to Chris and Glenn.
Yes, the 5-10 teams may have noticed, might be running out of time. Impressive display by Montreal with Kevin Glenn, and the Lions looking good so far. Jeff Matthews launching for Sickfield, incomplete. Eric Fraser, the safety, also playing in his 100th game in the neighborhood for BC.
Yeah, Eric Fraser was in good position. Mark Washington called a deep zone defense there, defensive coordinator for the BC Lions, so he had plenty back there, and Jeff Matthews just wanted to get his speed guy down the field, try and push those defensive backs, see if he could make a play for him.
Medlock, high boot. Down around the 12-yard line for Rainey. And he leaps across the 20, a 48-yard punt for Medlock. And Jennings has some time here to expand the lead. This was in the neighborhood of what they led against Edmonton a few weeks ago at Commonwealth. Let that get away, and no lead's been safe for the BC Lions.
No, you talk about the 300 yards 2 weeks ago against Winnipeg in the first half. They lost by 3 in that one, lost by 3 to Edmonton, have not scored points in the fourth quarter. That's been an issue. Finishing games. It was the talk of the practice facility here in BC yesterday.
Starting double tight ends with Cam Thorne and Raleigh Lambala lining up, and handed off straight ahead, and Harris, league's leading rusher with his first decent gain. He's got 5. That's his longest of the evening.
It has been a different year when you look at Andrew Harris as the leading rusher in the league, and yet he's had games with just 2 yards rushing, game with 3 yards rushing. I mean, I think the leading rusher in the league has got to be up around 60 to 80 yards per game.
And they've only thrown to him 7 times in the last 5 games with Jennings. There's a pass caught by Lavelle Hawkins for a first down. Quick hitter to the wideout for 13 yards.
But, you know, when Jeff Tedford says we're not going to bang our heads against the wall, if Andrew Harris is getting shut down and we're not run blocking well enough, then we'll ask Andrew Harris to block. And that time he stepped up in his hole and pass protected.
Now Jennings on a roll, wide side throw. Gore's got it. Courtney Stephen there, and he steps out at the 46 and has 6.
There's the athleticism for John Jennings to get on the roll, throw that tight spiral right to the sideline to Sean Gore. Changing the launch point for Jonathan Jennings, so he's not just in the pocket and allowing that defensive front for Hamilton to just pin their ears back.
Jennings 12 of 15, 159 in this first half. Looks at 2nd and 4. And quickly into the hands of Arsenault. It's another BC first down.
A little confusion in the Hamilton secondary where late reaction by safety Craig Butler to go out and try and cover. He comes out here late to try and cover because Andrew Harris had left the backfield and was now a wide receiver.
Lions go no huddle. Jennings sideline, and that's a terrific catch. Arsenault's got his 5th of the game and 70th catch of the season now. 8 more on first down.
Yeah, he had to stretch out to get this one. This was out in front of him, throwing it away from Brandon Stewart, who was right in the hip pocket. That ball's at all underthrown. Brandon Stewart has a shot at it, and on the out, you've got a long way to run if you're a DB and can make that underthrow, make the catch on that.
2nd and 2. And it's a 2nd down conversion catch to Brian Burnham. Forward progress the 45, and that'll move the chains.
Tempo offense, something that Jeff Tedford was famous for back at Cal.
Minute 20 left on the clock. It's running lots of time, though. Here comes the safety blitz. Jennings launching that, and incomplete. Austin Colley might have been out of bounds. Emmanuel Davis in coverage for the Ticats.
That's the 3rd time that BC has tried to test Emmanuel Davis, and he's come up with all 3 plays. This one, Jennings off his back foot. Throws it right to the sideline. I'm not sure Colley would have been in bounds anyway.
Kind of falling away as he delivered the football with Eric Norwood. Turning up the heat, 2nd and 10. Jennings running out of time. Gets away and throws it away to avoid the sack and give Jed Tedford the option of trying a 52-yard field goal.
One of the things that Tedford talked about Jennings yesterday, he said why he's so impressed with him is that when things start to collapse or break down and he starts to run around a little bit, he always has his eyes down the field. Really young quarterbacks normally will tuck it and try and run for what they can, but Jennings always has his eyes. He spins out of this tackle, eyes back down the field, realizes he's not going to get it to a receiver, so he'll save the loss and throw it out of bounds.
Tony Lawrence had a shot, Brian Hall late, but Jennings avoids the sack, and they will try.
Timeout, BC.
A 52-yard field goal, or maybe they're going to think about things here with Brandon Banks back.
Two great returners in this game, Chris, when Chris Rainey and Brandon Banks. Brandon Banks, of course, 4 touchdowns, punt returns this year, a couple called back. Rainey, we've already seen what he can do. Also has a touchdown out of the backfield. But we've got a couple that get you up out of your seat in a hurry and can do it in the blink of an eye.
And they're so good that Jeff Tedford's reconsidered.
Well, I mean, this leads, that 14 leads the league in punt return average. That's Rainey's, and the 4 touchdowns by Banks also leads the league.
I was going to say there hasn't been a missed field goal return for a touchdown this year, but Jeff Tedford's not going to tempt fate. Leone with the boot, and it bounces into the end zone, and it's going to be a rouge, so they're going to get 1. And it's an 18-point lead.
Tedford has taken some heat in the marketplace a little bit, and that's, I think Ken Austin wanted that one returned. But
yeah, well, in the final minute, yeah, the rule is to let it bounce in almost any other time except with 51 seconds on the clock.
Tedford admitted yesterday in a conversation I had with him that he's still learning. I mean, I remember talking, to new coaches in the league that come back from the United States, whether college football or the NFL, they come to Canada, and even though Tedford had previous experience in the CFL, it's a different time clock, different motions. He said, I'm still learning as I go here in year one back, and that's a good decision, good reconsideration there to say, hey, with Brandon Banks back there, I'm going to punt it. Well, there is time for the Ticats to cut into this with decent field position, so maybe the 1 point was not the wrong decision. We'll find out.
Well, if they push it and try and use this 46 seconds,
they are going to huddle up and change personnel. But after the opening touchdown, Ken Austin's offense, a safety conceded, 5 punts and a fumble that was turned into a BC touchdown. Second and 9 and the clock running. Hand off to Singfield and nothing doing. There's Mikael Brooks.
See, that's I hear you, Chris. I mean, at 46 seconds, if you're going to give up the single, and that was the idea, then you have to be aggressive with the football, push it down the field, use the clock properly in and out of the huddle. They look like they're just trying to get out of the half now, and now that means that they didn't want to give up that single point. If you're going to do that, you could have done that in your own end.
4-2 and out, and they have to punt the football away. Clock will start running, so not much time for the Lions. This will maybe one play for BC, but likely that the Ticats will run this right down. Iannuzzi from the 33, and he is buried back at the 35. That's Gascon Nadon with the tackle. Zeros on the clock, and that's as good as first half as the BC Lions have enjoyed this season. 3 touchdown passes for Jonathan Jennings and a 24-6 lead at the half as we join the panel and Rod Smith.
Thank you, Chris. Someone forgot to tell the Montreal Alouettes and BC Lions they were big underdogs today because with records of 5-10 coming in, they certainly have not behaved that way. The Alouettes didn't, the Lions so far. Mike Benavides, Paul Lapalisse with us, Chris Schultz as well on the panel, looking at a dominant performance so far by the BC Lions, even though the Ticats look good early on. But Schultz, after that, impressive, not just Jonathan Jennings. We talked about this in the earlier game, too. I mean, all round, they're putting on a pretty good show right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're in week 18 of the Canadian Football League, 2 more weeks to go, and still it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What Montreal did is dominate the Toronto Argonauts, who are supposed to be significantly better. Right now, the BC Lions are dominating the Hamilton Ticats, and it's just these single moments that you identify as things that happen that are special. This is Chris Rainey returning, and notice everybody is converging. All the blocks are all set up, but he has to redirect his body. He takes off, goes down the sidelines. You can't teach that. You either got it or you don't. When he can flip a field like that in the special teams, you got something special. But still, it is about Jonathan Jennings. Do you have to be lucky to be good? Sometimes every now and then. Watch here. To the left of the screen, you're going to see the referee fall down. The Ticat player fall over the ref. Who knows? Maybe that would have been a pick instead of a touchdown pass. But I'll say it was a touchdown pass here, throwing with authority. When you look at Jonathan Jennings, you look at Chris Rainey, the improvement on that defensive football team, I'm telling you, the BC Lions are a dangerous team.
Well, it figures you would be talking offense and Jennings and this and that. You've got to get a lot of credit to the BC Lions defense. Yes, the first drive of the Hamilton Ticats, they had a touchdown. But after that, we're talking about 5 punts and including a turnover. That was a fumble, and that's points for the defense. They're getting after the quarterback. They're doing great things. Here, a short ball on second down. Here comes one of my favorite players, Ronnie L. Bam. It can't convert. They don't give the big play. The defense is getting after him, can't throw downfield. Smitty takes an inside move, gets a sack. Here, great coverage downfield. They use a tight end, good coverage. It held up, and then here we go with another hit. The defense of the BC Lions is doing what it needs to do to get after and make plays. But conversely, on the other side, the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the first 8 games, touchdowns, turnovers, all that kind of stuff. The last 7 games, they're not turning over and they're not making big plays.
Which leads from one coach to the other, and GMC Sierra coach's playbook, and how the Lions really benefited from good field position in that half.
Yeah, one of the most exciting things in football, guys, is field position, right? That's what everybody wants to talk about.
Works for me.
It happens. That's what it takes. Look at this first first drive, I love this throw because he throws with anticipation. When you throw with anticipation, you make people miss because they're not ready to tackle you. Great decision. But that drive started at the 39-yard line. Look at this drive at the 2-yard line. Scoring percentage from here is about 7% touchdowns. You're not going to score from back here. They had to take a safety later in the game. Here's a drive that starts at the 5-yard line. Here comes a turnover. The ball gets placed at the 10-yard line for the BC Lions. They go ahead after this play, score a touchdown the very next play. And again, scoring from this area of the field, guys, when you got the ball at the 10-yard line, that jumps up to over 70%. So Hamilton has not had great field position, and that's what's hurt them. BC's had great field position.
Good numbers in the first half for Jonathan Jennings, but we've said this before, and he's cooled off in the second half. Right now, though, 178 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no picks. There's one of his touchdown passes. Right there. Rainey taking it in as well. 24-6 at the half, Lions. The Alouettes and the Argos from Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. And this is Montreal's opening possession, an 8-play drive culminating with Kevin Glenn to Terrell Sutton, who fights his way in and makes it 7-0. Montreal, second quarter, Glenn looking a lot more comfortable as an Alouette now in his second start for them. To Fred Stamps for the touchdown, 15-0 Montreal, and they keep rolling. Sutton scoring his second TD of the game. Montreal 22, Argos nothing. Under a minute to go in the half, Trevor Harris is picked up by Gerald Brown, and he will take this thing back into Toronto territory. It would lead to a field goal. The 11th interception thrown by Harris in his last 6 games. Ricky Ray came on in relief, but the Owls won at 34-2. Back with Jock Climby for his take on this game. A game Montreal essentially had to win, Jock, to have any hope of crossing over and getting that last playoff spot. And they were the better team from start to finish, I think, in all aspects of the game.
Well, we like to talk in football about this concept of playing with a sense of urgency, and the Alouettes certainly had much more of that. Even though the Argos are fighting very hard to finish first in the East, they look like a team that's tired of playing on the road, whereas the Alouettes came out with so much intensity while the Argos were lackluster. And here's an example. I mean, look at Logan on this punt return. Look how long he runs before you see a blue jersey even show up. I have almost never seen a wide side punt return where no one shows up in the frame until 50 yards down the field. And then Harris was just off. I mean, he had an open man, a receiver not on the same page, and then the pass rush. Harris, time and time again, was just getting sacked. And then how about Argos getting run over? It just seemed like every time to turn around, Sutton was doing this to somebody. That is want to. That is a desire to win a football game and dominate your opponent physically. And that's what you saw from start to finish in this game, Rod. The Argos have got to figure this out, or this is going to be a very short playoff run for them. Well,
Toronto, with Trevor Harris at quarterback, didn't sustain any drives to speak of, really. Ricky Ray came in, had good numbers, although when the game was already out of hand. Did he show you enough to get the start next week?
Only if his arm is 100%. Look, this has been 2 games in a row where Trevor Harris, I think, has been mediocre at best. Whereas Ricky Ray at least showed you that he can play, but can he throw the ball longer than 25 yards down the field? If the answer is yes, he should start.
Well, and their next game, by the way, happens to be against the BC Lions, who are in the thick of it with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in this one tonight, under pressure to keep pace with Montreal. The Cats with an opportunity now to take a better hold of first place and at least finish no worse than second and get a home playoff game. And the Lions looking good right now, 24-6 over the top team in the East, the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll have the stats, second half kickoff coming up here in Wendy's Friday Night Football. Half is brought to you by Wendy's Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt. It's back, but only at Wendy's. Now that's better. A lot better for the BC Lions with an 18-point lead over the Ticats at the half. Here's Lappa with the stats.
A lot of things similar, 6 first downs to 10 first downs, passing yards. BC's got a couple of big plays, a 48-yard or most. Biggest thing, BC Lions are getting pressure on the quarterback for Hamilton.
Getting a good game, too, out of Chris Rainey's got a touchdown. Here he is now with Dustin Nielsen.
Chris, after frustration losing last week and giving up an early touchdown in this game, what about the job your team did bouncing back here in the first half?
We're doing a great job, man. We just got to keep them out of the end zone, keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully we'll get a win. Now we got to get this second half now.
From the catch to the jump on that touchdown, take us through that play.
Well, at first I couldn't see the quarterback. So I was like, if he throw it, I got to look for it. And then he threw it behind me. So I was like, I got to catch this. So I slipped my arm out, and it stayed right there with me. So I did a second catch, and then the rest is history.
And what do you think the message is going to be at halftime here for you guys?
Finish. That's all I'm on for the rest of the year. Finish, finish, finish 4 quarters.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes, sir.
I'll say it again. Finish. BC has had trouble with that, despite very good first halves in the second half of the season. But they got a good lead right now over the Hamilton Tiger Cats with the kickoff coming up. BC plays in Wendy's Friday Night Football.
It's Friday Night Football. Come on.
Big first half for the home side. It's 24-6 as we get set for the second half. But first, down on the sidelines, Dustin Nielsen's with Luke Tasker.
Look, with the way that game started, how surprised were you with the way that first half ended?
They made their plays, and we made mistakes and didn't take advantage of times that we needed to really get a big play. So we're gonna turn around right now.
What was the message there at halftime from the coach?
Win this half. Go out there and win this half. Pick up the physicality, and we'll see where we are at the end.
Thanks for this.
Thanks.
Can almost hear Ken Austin saying that.
Pick up the physicality, make the plays when you have the opportunity to. Jeff Matthews got to make some of those plays down the field. Took a couple of shots late in that first half, but didn't connect with Terrell Sinkfield.
And the Ticats put a little seed of doubt in the minds of the BC Lions, who have struggled to finish. Underway second half, Jacques-Marie Lortz with the return. Just beyond the 30, Mike Edom's been busy on the teams.
Jonathan Jennings in his 5th start in the Canadian Football League, and when he stepped on the field the first time tonight was down 6-0 after a Jeff Matthews throw to Luke Tasker, but it didn't faze him at all. He went to work, a touchdown throw to Sean Gore deep in the end zone, another one to Manny Arsenault. He had 3, including this Chris Rainey spectacular play, catch and run from Rainey. 3 touchdown passes for Jennings in the first half.
Comes out throwing here in a pass that is incomplete.
We went right to Lavelle Hawkins there and said, keep coming on that slant route. I'm throwing it to the spot. I expect you to be on that spot. Little almost sideways look to his receiver. That's a sign of leadership as well.
So 2nd and 10. 3 receivers near side, looks that way. He's got Austin Collie, who came back for the ball and then turns it into a first down.
Excellent second effort from Austin Collie. He gets low. First of all, comes back to the football. So fundamentally sound on the route running. See that extra step back? That got him the separation on Eric Harris, and then fights hard for that extra 3 yards to move the chains.
Second catch for Collie, and it is a second down conversion grab that sets up 1st and 10 at the 43. Quickly out to the far side and into the hands of Gore. Brought down by the middle linebacker Taylor Reed.
The only thing that Jonathan Jennings hasn't achieved in his first 4 starts is wins. Enough wins, just 1. But when you look at the total yardage passed by Jennings in those starts, he's among the tops in the Canadian Football League in its history.
Those are good names.
Yeah, no question. Over 300 yards a game and just 1 win. Those are numbers that should get you 4 wins.
2nd and 6, drops it off over the middle, crosser, first down, Sean Gore tumbles down inside the 45-yard line. He's been energized by the move to Jonathan Jennings at quarterback.
Well, when you've got this arm strength and you've got a guy that can make all the throws on the field, then every receiver runs their route, whether they're the backside or not, they run it hard.
They know that they can always become an option, especially with an athletic guy who might run out of that pocket, and all of a sudden you go from being the third choice to the first in a hurry.
Third 5-catch game for Gore. He's 5 for 55 on the night, and now it's Andrew Harris trying to get to the edge. Big gain for Harris, and he spins off first contact. So the 25 and the biggest carry of the night for the CFL's leading rusher. He's got 17.
Well, they widen the end. I think it's Rolly Lumbala that gets outside here, and then they widen out almost a double tight end set to give a little more of a blocking angle on that edge so that Andrew Harris can get out and around it. There's Lumbala down on Craig Butler. Tried to step up and run support.
No first down, 26-yard line. Here comes the pressure. Gets it away in a hurry, and Rainey has the catch. Rico Murray making sure he doesn't go very far. Maybe 3 for Chris Rainey.
See, Jonathan Jennings here, Chris, he knows that this is a free man. He knows the protection. So Simone Lawrence is the responsibility of the quarterback. What does that mean? Free guy coming off the edge. I don't have him blocked. I've got to throw it before he gets there. And that's exactly what Jennings does.
Call it 2, the 7th play of the drive. 2nd and 8. More heat. Jennings got it away and a drop. This time Pauly can't hang on. But boy, how quickly Jonathan Jennings got that away with pressure on.
He's the real deal. I mean, this throw is a flick of the wrist. And it looked like Austin Coley just kind of dove for it a little early, but again, the timing and the velocity on the throw, the accuracy on the throw, pressure coming off the edge does not bother him.
What our buddy Julio Caravetta say? He knows it and he throws it.
Knows it and throws it.
So Leone looking for 3 and puts it through. And it's now a 3-touchdown lead for Jeff Tedford's crew. And second half opening drive, field goal for the Lions.
Best game of the year for BC Lions defensive end, Kareem Smith. Knocked down early on in the first quarter. He's registered a sack. He's flushed Jeff Matthews a few times. Last year had a personal best 11 sacks. This year just 4 coming into tonight. But this has been his best game. That was his best half of football in 2015.
Jeff Matthews make that fly swing to Sinkfield, and he's got Andy Fantuz. And we were just talking during the break about 83, his first catch of the night, just 2 in his return to the lineup last week.
Yeah, didn't play against the BC Lions early in the season and was on the injured list for 9 games. So he tried to break some rust off last week. But boy, they need to get him involved again.
13 for Fantuz, now to the wide side, and back-to-back catches for number 83. This time a quick stop from Stephen Clark on the corner.
Great possession receiver, and one that Jeff Matthews has to quickly learn to trust.
That probably won't take long.
No. Sure-handed as they come.
See the brace on the elbow injuries to Gable and Fantuz in the same game against Toronto. Fantuz returned last week, Gable tonight. And there's a catch for Tasker, and he runs over Ronnie Yell for extra yards. Boy, he packs a punch at 5'11", 194.
Yeah, just settled in there. He just set his feet and took the hit from Yell. And Yell didn't wrap up and drive his legs and didn't form tackle like the Lions defensively did in the first half, and he just kind of fell off.
5 catches, 93 yards for Tasker, closing in on a 1,000-yard season. Ticats rolling here, and Matthews hit as he delivered up for grabs and picked off. Intercepted Brian Phillips. The 11-year vet's got number 44. Looked like Matthews was hit just as he released. Couple of veterans dueling here. Phillips against Fantuz, and the defender wins.
Textbook man-to-man coverage by the veteran Ryan Phillips on Andy Fantuz. Watch him run the route. He heads to the corner route before Fantuz comes out of his break. He reads Fantuz's body language and goes to that corner, gets the better body position, and then intercepts the football. He ties TJ Lee with the team lead.
Dealer, love y'all. Braylon, Dealer, you know what it is. You know where home is.
Said this week the growing pains have to end. Looks like a more mature Lions team tonight. Andrew Harris crashes straight ahead and now starting to get some yards on the ground. 7 more for Harris.
Ryan Phillips told me yesterday he feels good and wants to play 3-4 more years, as a matter of fact, and he's going to take it year at a time. This is his 11th. Ends what looked like a very promising drive with Jeff Matthews.
Harris 6 carries, 32 yards, so he's at 900 on the season. They think, and now Hawkins can't get out of the grass. Rico Murray reads the play, and it's a 2-and-out for the Ticats after the Jeff Matthews interception.
This is more like the Ticat defense we're used to seeing, and we've seen all year long. A defense that leads in so many categories, including the giveaway, takeaway. They score on defense, but it's about the pressure, the push up front. They had great penetration there, and that play didn't really have a chance from the get-go.
See if they go after Leone here. They looked like they were close to a block in the first half. Of course, they've got Banks as well. Leone gets it away. Banks fields back at the 41. Trying to hit the crease. And a good return into Lion territory. Rolly Lambala brings him down at the 49. So the Lions have the lead here at BC Place, but the Ticats, good field position when we come back. Chard, second-year man out of Laval, makes his way to the sidelines. Scary collision, a little friendly fire here, and it looked for a time like this might be a serious injury.
He was down for a second. They were checking out his neck and his back. Mike Benson, his teammate, runs into him on that move by Brandon Banks, but he got up, walked off the field on his own, and I think he'll be okay.
Field position good for the Ticats, 49 of BC. Fake to Gable, and Matthews on a roll, throws, and that's a nice catch there to stay in bounds. Junior Collins has the grab. By the way, the interception by Matthews was the first he's thrown in 3 games.
What he hasn't been able to do, and he's done over the last couple of games, is that deep ball, the 30-plus throw and catch. Last couple of games, he's had 6 of them. Other than Luke Tasker, haven't been able to stretch.
Into the hands of Gable. And CJ Gable pushed back at the 40, had to get inside the 40-yard line. Going to be 3rd down.
The spot of the ball will be interesting here. Is it 3rd and a full yard or 3rd and a half a yard? A full yard short.
Have to get almost to the 39 and the ball just outside the 40. Remember how close the last one was. CJ Gable, 6 carries, 19 yards in his return. Matthews, looked like the Lions went offside. Plunge ahead. Is there a flag? There was a flinch there.
Don't see a flag, and it looked like Matthews got a real good push from his O-line. They're going to measure it anyway, I think. They're going to bring the chains in.
Well, that's going to be close.
Actually, the spot of the ball makes this a lot closer than I thought with the push. Well, no question there was movement by the D-line for the BC Lions that wasn't called,
And they didn't make it. They
didn't
stopped
make
him. A third down stop. Matthews looks to the sidelines as if maybe they challenge, but
Can't.
those challenges are usually not successful.
You can challenge a spot. You can't challenge to.
Right, the spot.
Yeah.
Certainly not the jump. That Brooks or Westerman who
Did Brooks? Did he
quickly?
He jumped in the neutral zone. The question
Maybe
did he
got
get
back.
Yeah. Well, it looked like he might have got his hands back before the snap of the football.
And Ken Austin is going to challenge the spot.
Hamilton is challenging the spot on the previous play. As it was a third down play, it is challengeable. We will be reviewing this.
You can challenge on the goal line or third down. These, though, I don't think I've seen one since replay and the coach's ability to challenge has come into the rules. I don't think I've seen one overturned in the middle of the field on a third down and short yardage.
Not in the middle of a pile up like that. A couple of times we've seen a rollout where he got back onside.
Yeah, I was going to say that he got the hands back just prior to the snap of the ball. I'm sure there's Hamilton fans disagree with that, but there was no penalty flag. Now the question is, and what Ken Austin wants to know is, did that initial surge get him the full yard?
Again, it has to be conclusive, but you can look at that and say, boy, that looked like a pretty good surge, but
well, I thought it was, yeah.
Does that constitute conclusive evidence?
Well, let's take another look through the angles we have. Right in front of the 40-yard mark. So you got to see the football too. You saw Matthews' helmet go past that marker. It looked like from that angle. Get a chance to see the ball here.
Is the football extended, or is it around his
After
waist?
review, there is no evidence to overturn this play. Ruling on the field stance.
That's
First
what
down,
happens
BC.
99.9% of the time. And that's a good point, Chris. It looked like the ball was down by his waist, so that maybe his helmet looked across that line and his shoulder pads, but he didn't get the ball across.
So a team that is plus 20 coming in that department is -3 tonight. Although you can tell Ken Austin has issues with the third turnover of the game.
I know that. There's no sense of bitching about it. We got to get the first down.
Lions take over, just over 5 minutes left, third quarter. Past the flat, and Obala separated from the football on the hit from Eric Harris.
You know, I put Eric Harris as a player and a defender to watch tonight because I just don't think he gets enough pub for how athletic he is in the linebacking core and the different things that he can do. I mean, he's got 2 tackles tonight, had the pick against the BC Lions early in the year. But this guy does a lot. I mean, he'll drop back and play safety at times. He makes a lot of plays that not very many people talk about.
Yeah, we saw him catch a touchdown pass last year. There's a throw to Hawkins. He's loose. And forced out on the Hamilton side of half at the Ticat 53-yard line.
He knows it and throws it. And that's what Jennings did here because Simone Lawrence, he knew it too. And he looked at the eyes of Jennings here and he said, I'm going to just break to that. And that's exactly what Lawrence does, but watch how quickly he gets it to him. Flick of the wrist, outside, and just missed that.
More heat, get it away. Arsenal trying to get to it. Stewart brings it down. Brandon Stewart has the interception.
What a catch.
And the first takeaway of the game for the Ticats. Third interception of the year for Stewart.
What a
Hamilton
catch.
Gets it back, yeah.
That's an amazing catch by Brandon Stewart. I mean, first of all, he's got good body position and on the high shoulder for Arsenal. So Arsenal can't run through him to get to it. And he just corrals it with the right arm.
The previous
is
play is
going
under
down.
review by the command center.
They'll review all turnovers, but let's take a look at this catch. Did he use the ground to help support the football on the catch is the question. He was squeezing it with the arm to the body as he hits the turf. Like from that angle, the arm was underneath it. Yeah, it looks like he maintained control, doesn't he? Control there. Turns the arm. It looked like the arm was underneath that. Unless right at the end when he curls it that he used the ground, because he had to survive contact with the turf there. You know, Brandon Stewart's been in good position on all the throws to the man he's covering.
After review, the command center has confirmed this is an interception. First down, Hamilton.
What a catch. Sometimes the defense wins. I mean, Brandon Stewart's been in good position and had receivers catch him in front of him, or you think of that Burnham seam route in the first half. He was right there in good position, and he gets the payday right there with a nice catch and interception. Ticats didn't like the spot, and you could see that the Lions thought that might have been a trap. So they trade turnovers and back to work on offense. The Hamilton Ticats with Andy Fantuz. All of a sudden a focal point. Nothing in the first half to 83, and counted at least 3 now in this third quarter. So subtle adjustments in the offense to get Fantuz involved. Missed 9 games. His best game of the season was the first season opening game. 9 catches, 83 in Calgary. A pump from Jennings, or from Matthews, and he able to escape, and now throw, and he got Fantuz again. Boy, it looked like Matthews was really going to get hit in the backfield. There is a flag on the play.
He did get hit. Foul, roughing the pass of BC, 94. 15-yard penalty at the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Kareem Smith. Well, just the pocket presence here. And you know, while we watch Jonathan Jennings move athletically, throw on the run, this is pocket presence from a pocket passer. He felt the pressure come up high, and then he gets hit as he was throwing it to Andy Fantuz. So he'll tack that on. Kareem Smith pushes him in the back. 17 for Fantuz. And the penalty, and the Ticats have the ball at the 54. Stands in, throws, and one. Sickfield, and got him on the money at the 25-yard line. The Ticats threatening to score. Well, that's what you can do when you've got a speed guy in your receiving corps. You don't throw it to him, you throw it to a spot. You throw it 10 yards in front of him, and you let him go and run it down. And that's what Matthews does. He just puts it out in front of Terrell Sinkfield, and there is nothing TJ Lee can do about that one. 930-yard plus catch for Sinkfield on the year. Within 32 of the 1,000. Matthews goes to the reads and throws a hot pass to Collins, who brings it down. Sure hands of Junior Collins. That's close to another first down. Looks like it's right on the money, 10 yards. You know, in the first half, we saw a lot of stunts from the BC Lions defensive line. A lot of twists up front with Jabbar Westerman, Kareem Smith. Mark Washington's going to more of just a straight 4-man look up front with pressure. Now he's backed up into his own red zone, into his own end of the field. So you'll likely see man-to-man and more pressure here. But in this third quarter, I've seen a lot of just straight rush, 4-on-5. And Matthews starting to move the ball a little bit. First trip to the red zone for the Ticats. The Lions didn't allow Edmonton in the red zone last week. First and 10. Pressure on again, and this time Matthews won't get it away. That's Zach Minter. Late add-on to the game with the scratch of Craig Rowe, and Minter has the sack. Adam Bighill's going to help out here with Minter because he's going to spy Matthews on the play. In other words, he doesn't really have a drop to get too deep under pass coverage, so Bighill's just going to sit and spy the quarterback. He's going to wait, he's going to hop. If he escapes, then number 44 goes to him. And he's the guy who pushes Matthews into the hands of Zach Minter. Fourth sack of the game for BC. 2nd and 12, and
wow. I thought Kareem Smith came out of a cannon or he was offside. One of the two.
He's been fully loaded all night, though, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, you know, the BC Lions saw Montreal win earlier. I'm sure it was on early in the game anyway.
Offside, BC, number 94. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
They knew the sense of urgency here tonight. Now, can they exercise the demon of not being able to score and finish games in the 4th quarter? Because even if Jeff Matthews can finish this drive, that's going to haunt this team right now and climb up into their heads.
It's going to be the 10th time. Almost certainly the Lions will have led after 3 quarters. How big will the lead be? 2nd and 7. Matthews throwing, and look out. Incomplete. Alex Hoffman-Ellis had a beat on that. Intended for C.J. Gable.
Almost like he threw it away. I mean, Alex Hoffman-Ellis closed quickly. He took off and covered Gable out of the backfield. So when I saw Matthews try and throw it there, I thought, this is going the other way. I mean, first of all, he waits a little bit too long to try and throw that push route by your running back. You can see if that was thrown directly to C.J. Gable, Hoffman-Ellis was taking it the other way.
Staying on the field, 3rd and 7. Matthews stands in, open man, touchdown. Andy Fantuz is back. And there's some life in the Ticats here in the final minute, 3rd quarter.
They switch turnovers, basically swap them, but it's the Hamilton Tiger Cats that takes advantage of the points off the turnover and finish the drive. And Fantuz has been involved since this 2nd half began. He has his first touchdown in some time.
First in 2015. 3rd down gamble pays for Ken Austin. And now Medlock adds the extra point. So it's a 14-point lead for BC as we approach the 4th quarter. Andy Fantuz cuts into that lead. Our sack tally is brought to you by Purelator. Tackling hunger, a promise we can all help deliver.
Last time these two teams played, Hamilton had 4 sacks. Tonight, the BC Lions, after 3 quarters, have 4 sacks. Hamilton won. But a good drive off the interception from Jeff Matthews. Finishes with the throw to Andy Fantuz, and it started with a throw to Andy Fantuz. That pocket presence, remember back in this play in his own end, finds Fantuz across the middle. That got things started. A great throw to the spot, basically throwing Terrell Sinkfield open. There's Andy Fantuz finding a hole. The Lions playing his own defense in their own end.
7 plays, 92 yards. Medlock kicks it off. Shaq Murray-Lawrence picks his way into the open field, but a flag's down behind him. Shaq Murray-Lawrence with a terrific return that is probably coming back. Couple of flags.
And the Lions are going right back offensively in their own end. It was right in front, both flags right in front of the BC Lion bench. And that offense...
During the return, holding BC 99. 10-yard penalty from where the ball was held. First down, BC.
Jabbar Westerman on this return, he's a wedge guy.
right in front of the bench, right there to the left of your screen. He's got his arms wrapped around his man, basically tackles him, and that's exactly where the return began. So flags fly, and a big return and play comes off the board for the Lions.
Find out if that comes back to haunt Jeff Tedford's Lions. Well, this will be the final play, third quarter. And Harris cuts back and nearly had something. Tripped up from behind by Brian Hall up at the 21-yard line. So we're through three quarters for the 10th time this year. The BC Lions have the lead. They've only won 3 of them so far. 27-13 heading to the 4th in Vancouver. An important game, a 14-point lead for BC headed to the 4th with the stats relatively even on the night.
Yeah, they are. I mean, both these young quarterbacks on pace for over 300 yards passing. Both have more touchdowns than interceptions. They've thrown 1 pick each. And we go down to the 4th quarter, which has been interesting for the BC Lions.
And all we've heard about in the BC camp is finishing and trying to be better in the 4th quarter. You're an old player. In the back of their minds, is it a negative that they've got to shake, or is it a positive focus?
You know, it is a negative. They got to get rid of it. They got to try and exercise that demon and put it in the end zone. They haven't scored an offensive touchdown in the 4th quarter since early in August, the last time they played the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
And in fairness, that was a garbage time touchdown in a game that they were routed 52-22. A second down throw here for Arsenault is incomplete, and so they'll have to punt early in the 4th. And here's what we're talking about.
3 weeks ago against the Edmonton Eskimos, late in that game, they had the lead going into the 3rd quarter, and it's Darrell Walker steals it, then Winnipeg. That was the game. Jennings threw for 3 touchdowns and 300 yards in the first half. Winnipeg comes back and beats them in the second. And then last week in overtime against the Edmonton Eskimos, they had the lead going in to the 4th and lost that one.
This is the time that Jeff Reinbold has the punt block on. Bradbury stops play. And the Lions flinched again.
Procedure. BC, number 53. Repeat 3rd down. 5-yard penalty.
It's funny, Chris, you mentioned, is it a positive thing that they try and get rid of it, or does it become a negative mental issue that they've got to try and get rid of? It's a little of both, I think, in some ways. I mean, the BC Lions can't make it a thing. You know, if they start thinking about it too much, then it becomes that jinx.
Bazzi called on the procedure. Leone with a good boot. Banks back at his 45. Slipped and gets tackled, a 50-yard punt. And Mike Benson down in a hurry to make sure Brandon Banks doesn't get away. By the way, 4 penalties in this second half. They've all gone against BC. And let's see if Jeff Matthews can turn up a little more heat on the BC Lions.
Well, and the heat is the difference in the first half and the 3rd quarter for the Lions. They were getting heat on Jeff Matthews in the first half. Had 3 sacks in the first half. A lot of Kareem Smith in his face. Not in that 3rd quarter.
Last scoring drive, Bantus had 3 carries, 33 yards. Flag does come down on an apparent offside against BC. Mikael Brooks, Hoffman Ellis on the tackle.
Yeah, that was offside BC. I don't know that they rushed for more than 5, so.
Offside, BC, 94, 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Take first down over again and the 5 yards. Kareem Smith called again. So that's 5 straight second half penalties against the Lions. Talked about little things.
Yeah,
and
it's where the doubt creeps in. You get a couple penalties, a couple plays by the other team, and you start to wonder.
Sometimes guys trying to do too much. Lots of time. Tasker! Oh! Really took a lick from Ronnie Yell, stretching out to make the highlight one-handed grab.
Well, he had to extend for it, and that opened up his body for this shot from Ronnie Yell. Now, it looked to me when I saw it live that Ronnie Yell tried to get his helmet out of there and go with his shoulder. He does. Leads with his shoulder there. But you can see Tasker extended to try and one-hand that one.
Remember when Tasker ran over Yell in the third quarter? And Yell delivers the blow this time.
Solid hit and a clean one.
Tasker up, and
good to see.
Boy, he's a resilient guy, and
1-1.
He just got the best that Ronnie Yell can deliver. So it'll be 2nd and 5, and Tasker not available for an important play.
Matthews has been important in this second half for them, though. Gable right out as a receiver.
And Singfield's lined up in the backfield. Now he'll go in motion. And Matthews was looking that way, now has to go the other way, and the pass is caught. It looks like it's coming back. Looked like a hold in front of Matthews that bought him enough time to get it to Fantuz.
Holding. Hamilton, number 51. 5-yard penalty, or 10-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
It's the center, Mike Filer.
You know which one he is. He's got the ball in his hand. Working on the double team. He's got his hand underneath the shoulder pad.
But now 2nd and 15 back at the Ticat 44. Matthews underneath, another flag. Gables got the catch, and a Big Hill's on the scene. Another hold against the Ticats. This one likely to be declined.
Mark Washington on that last play. I think you're right, Chris. The defensive coordinator for the Lions.
Holding. Hamilton, number 67. Penalties declined. Result of the play is 3rd down.
Vancouver native Peter Diakowski, the culprit this time.
He's going back to those stunts. Remember those stunts I told you about in the first half? That's Bazzi working with Zach Minter now. Or excuse me, Mikhail Brooks. And Brooks on the stunt.
Headlock kick. Sends Rainey back a few steps. Sidesteps under the wave, and it's over the 20. Even a short return can be exciting with number 28, who, if you missed it in the first half, had a highlight reel touchdown catch. There it is. Lion football when we come back. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC Sierra. We are professional grade. Back in Vancouver, 12:33 to go, 4th quarter. Jonathan Jennings has 3 touchdown passes in the game, 1 to Emmanuel Arsenault. But still some work to be done. They fake the fly sweep, and Jennings ahead for a few yards. You've talked about it, Suits. Everybody in the back of their mind knows the Lions have to slay this dragon.
Clearly, you know, if you're really just sick and tired of the situation you're in, you'll do something about it. So as players and as a team, the guys that's out there on the field, we have to do something about it, because apparently we haven't, because we done found ourselves in this situation more than once.
More than once indeed. Jennings takes off, but he's not going to get loose. Eric Norwood brings him down short of the first down, a 2-and-out. The Ticats will get the football right back.
Now Orlando Steinauer, defensive coordinator for Hamilton, starting to mix things up a little bit as he moves Brian Hall outside. Brian Hall's the end and puts Norwood in the interior almost like a linebacker, just switches things up. Norwood gets that good push up the middle on Kirby Fabian and then comes back and catches Jennings.
5th 2-and-out for BC on the night. Leone gets it away. Banks from the 40. 44-yard punt, and Banks with a decent return around midfield as he steps out. There is a flag down. We'll sort it out when we return. Just over 11 minutes to go. Good news for the Ticats. Luke Tasker back to work. Sunday Night Football continues. The Eagles take on the Panthers. Catch it at 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific across the TSN network. Almost Halloween. Procedure call against the Lions. They have to re-kick here. So Brandon Banks gets ready. Ticats rush, but Leone gets away a beauty. Banks back at the 36. That's a 54-yard punt, but Banks gets one block and a crease, and flags are flying. There's a couple on the field as Banks is brought down at the 32-yard line. 42-yard return, but like the Shaq Murray-Lawrence return earlier on a kickoff, this one likely negated by more than one flag. Richie Leone shaken up on the play.
It almost looked like Brandon Banks saw the flag on the field and started to gear it down and say, okay, well.
During the return, holding Hamilton number 20. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So both flags for the same infraction. And the call against Emmanuel Davis will send the Ticats all the way back to their 30. So about a 50-yard difference in field position.
With the returners that we have in the game in the Canadian Football League, I've heard coaches say it's almost better to just take your blockers right off the field. If you're going to do that, you might as well take them right off and let the returner go 1 on 12, because it not only takes the return off, the return yardage off, it just pushes you back, takes all momentum away, and uses up some clock as well.
Got a timeout Hamilton here. So Ken Austin uses a timeout. Davis on the sidelines shakes his head as that penalty takes the Banks return off the board. So now Hamilton ready to go. Still very much in this football game. Pressure on Matthews, ducks under, but not here. Adam Bighill gets home, and that's the 5th sack of the night for the BC Lions.
Show Hoffman-Ellis in there, and Mark Washington going back to switching things up. Hoffman-Ellis shows, but doesn't necessarily hit the gap, and Bighill does. They go together. It's Hoffman-Ellis on the outside, Adam Bighill on the inside, linebacker blitz, and that's a sack added to his 7 tackles on the night for number 44, who came in at 99 tackles. So he's over 100 for the second time in his career. A couple years ago.
Matches the Lions high on the season with 5 sacks. Injured Ticat and Ryan Bauman being helped to the sidelines for the second time, and this looks like a different issue for him as they hold up the left arm. So they'll have to readjust that offensive line again. And into the game comes Matthew Girard. Check that, Mike Girard, excuse me, Mike. Thrust into the fray. Second and long, and that's Junior Collins with a good gain out across the 35-yard line, but it's going to be third down, and punt team will have to come on.
I'll show you the Ryan Bombin injury. He's working one-on-one on Kareem Smith off the edge here, but he's going to get hit from the backside. Looks like Jabbar Westerman possibly coming around the corner. Watch how he's working on Kareem Smith, and right there, his elbow gets hit by the helmet of Westerman from the other side of the field.
Medlock's boot sends Rainey back, a 50-yard kick. Rainey at his 25 does some dancing, and again a flag as Rainey is hauled down at the 30-yard line. So just over 9 minutes to go. It remains a 14-point lead for Jonathan Jennings and the Lions. Terrific night for the BC Lions defense so far, and their leader, Adam Bighill, with more. Let's go back to the sidelines. Here's Dustin.
Yeah, it's been quite the season for Adam Bighill. The Lions linebacker has now recorded 100 tackles in a season twice in his career, which gives him bragging rights over teammate Solomon El-Mimian, who's only done it once in his career. Last time Bighill did it was 2012. He was an All-Star that season and was nominated for Defensive Player of the Year.
8th player in CFL history to have multi-100 tackle seasons. Here's a catch by Arsenault. He had to reach up to grab that and took a hit from Taylor Reed, a short gain for Arsenault on his 6th catch of the night.
Showed you the numbers for Arsenal since Jonathan Jennings has been the starter, and don't be surprised at all in this next 8.5 minutes for Jennings to start to really lean on 84.
Get the feeling they're going conservative here.
Play not to lose.
2nd and 9. Ball downfield, nothing conservative about that. Hawkins with the bobble that made it interesting, but they are ruling a catch and a first down.
Brandon Stewart is talking to the officials that he was bobbling it when he went out of bounds. Let's take another look. Ball's put right where it has to be. I think just Hawkins took his eyes off it for a second. Does he get control and the foot?
Oh. Somewhat secured. Kent Austin down there to just wait to get a ruling from upstairs, and he's going to challenge that was still getting hot potatoed when he stepped out of bounds.
Hamilton's challenging the previous play of a completed pass. This will be reviewed.
And there's a catch that a team comfortable in the fourth quarter probably makes 99 times out of 100.
You're right. I mean,
or 100 times out of 100.
It's that.
Is that secured?
Is that going to be considered control of the ball? Ruled a catch on the field. It's not that there's not evidence. The evidence is there. It's whether or not they rule that he has control.
That last look of him stepping out on first glance makes it look like he's bobbling it, but really just seemed comfortable that he finally brought it in and almost was just tucking it into one hand. So.
Exactly. It looked like he bobbled it initially, had that right foot on in bounds, and then was kind of transferring it to his right hand as he was going out. But it is close,
which opens it up for review.
And on a second down throw, one that Ken Austin definitely needs to challenge. I mean, take another look at it. His defense is off the field if he wins this one.
And ruling on the field was a catch. Let's take another look. This is one that isn't necessarily an easy call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Complete pass, first down.
You don't have to have the football against your body to have control of it. You can have it in one hand, you can have it in both hands, out away from your body, and they ruled that was the case, that he did gain control with that right hand.
14-yard gain stands and a first down, and a direct snap for Harris. And Harris follows the blocking, got something, and lunging ahead for another BC first down, an 11-yard run for Andrew Harris, up to 48 on the night.
Direct snap right to Andrew Harris. Jonathan Jennings sells it, and then Harris has got an escort out front.
And a 42-yard lead in the rushing derby over Jerome Messam coming into the week. Jennings throws for grab, but nowhere near either Brian Burnham or Sean Gore, and a late flag comes down. And they're going to call interference against the Ticats.
Interference, or is it illegal contact on one of the other receivers?
Holding, BC, number 62. Forward pass interference, Hamilton, number 20. Penalties will offset, will replay it down, remains first down.
It was on Davis, Emmanuel Davis, who was in coverage on the intended target.
Goes first and 10, up at the 44. Double tight end for the Lions. Cam Thorne back into the game. And Ticats showing blitz. They jump. Flags flying. Was there movement on that Lion offensive line?
Offside, Hamilton, number 6. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Brian Hall.
That snap cadence call from Jonathan Jennings was designed for that purpose, to draw the defensive line offside.
First and 5, that's Burnham in motion. And off again off the left side, and another first down run for Harris. Running yards second half have been much better for number 33.
Well, the difference being that it was around the second quarter that they found the edge. They found the corners for Andrew Harris. Harris' success in this game running the ball has been outside in those C gaps. You get outside and you get good blocking up front there from Tommy Draham and Kirby Fabian. They got the angle on their man and got the corner for Harris.
Third 10-yard carry or more in the game for Harris. So they'll feed him the football again. Graham leads the blocks again. And Harris falls forward for 8 or 9 more.
Yeah, Draham had one, and watch the pull from Foster, the center, coming out and around to lead this run again on the outside to Andrew Harris. Big 66 comes out and around the edge, and he gets right up on Rico Murray.
And Jason Foster leads the way, and up to date, Andrew Harris. Nothing like running yards in the fourth quarter when you've got the lead. Back in his hands, and there's a first down run for Harris.
Well, it does three things. You first of all, you're moving the football. You're moving the chains. You're working the clock. This goes back to when football began. Second of all, it's demoralizing for the defense when you can't stop the run in the fourth quarter and get off the field.
Are you saying Mike Pringle demoralized you?
More than once. More than once.
12th carry of the game for Harris. Little room there as he cut back and drives it down to the 33. So we've marked that as a gain of 6. He's at 76 yards when it seemed like there was really nothing going on the ground in the first half.
You remember the last time these two teams played, it wasn't Andrew Harris's best game. Fumbled it a couple of times and was injured in that game.
2nd and 4. Jennings to throw, a little fade, and it'll be a screening call on a guy that doesn't usually cover. Justin Hickman followed Andrew Harris out of the backfield and did everything right except screen at the end.
Yeah, he was waving his hands in the face of Andrew Harris and was not an attempt to play the football.
Defensive pass interference screening, Hamilton number 5. Point of foul, automatic, first down.
It's time to get Harris out of the backfield to run that wheel route and then down the sideline. And you're right. You know what? You're not very often asking your defensive end to cover a back out of the backfield, but Alonzo Steinhauer does this. You could see the screening in the hands in the face of Harris without an attempt to play the football. That's the textbook definition of screening.
Third trip to the end zone, or the red zone, trying to get to the end zone, and Andrew Harris will! Touchdown! Might be the most important drive of the season for the BC Lions, and it's capped with a 15-yard touchdown run by the rushing leader.
Agreed, Chris, that this is a big one for BC. In that fight for the last playoff spot, Montreal won before this game, and this drive in the fourth quarter to get rid of those games over the last 3 weeks that they haven't been able to finish. That's a big one, and it was the Andrew Harris drive.
Missed the extra point. Another miss for Leone. Let's see what Brandon Banks does with this. He'll just take the knee, and so 9th missed convert for Leone. And a flag
Holding
down.
BC number 46. That penalty's declined. Convert's over. We'll kick off.
So a 20-point lead.
I'm going to call this the Andrew Harris and Tommy Draham drive. He gets another block here. This is going to be on Brian Hall. Remember early in the game, the first quarter, I was saying if you want to run the ball on Hamilton defensively, you've got to move those two defensive tackles. And Draham just takes Brian Hall and seals him off on the inside and let Andrew Harris do his thing in the open field. If you can get those tackles and you can move them out of there, you can run the ball on the Hamilton defense. That hasn't been easy all year long, but that was a great block by Draham.
10 plays, 92 yards, and Harris with six runs for 54. So more on that drive than the rest of the game.
And look at the time remaining. That took a ton of time off the clock as they pounded it along the ground. Again, success outside first has been the difference to get Andrew Harris going.
Lions trying to even their home record at 4-4 and end a 4-game road winning streak of the Ticats. Brandon Banks trying to pick up the blocking. Alex Bazzi in pursuit, and he caught him from behind. Boy, that's terrific work by 53, Alex Bazzi.
So let me get this straight. Justin Hickman, I should say, covers a back out of the backfield on defense, and Alex Bazzi, another defensive end, covers a kick and makes a tackle on Brandon Banks. Now the clock is the enemy for Jeff Matthews.
Again, Ottawa plays Winnipeg tomorrow. The Bombers, if the score stands, will need a win to keep pace here with Montreal and BC. And Ottawa with a win could move into a tie with the Ticats with those back-to-back games to finish the year.
Yeah.
A little tip of the cap to the schedule maker. That's intercepted. And Ryan Phillips has his second of the game. He's up to number 45 in his career. And that should just about do it.
Boy, this is the second time that the veteran has, through film study, through experience, whatever it may be, just knowing the game, understanding the route concepts. He sees his man, Terrell Sinkfield, run that little curl in. He knows the outside's curling as well in Underwood, and he just jumps it. He's run the route twice now with 2 interceptions tonight.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Hey, dealer, I told you what it is. Holla at your boy. Love you, baby.
5 on the year for Ryan Phillips, who said the growing pains have to end. More work for Andrew Harris.
45 career picks, too.
Hey, the thing about it, the way I stole it, though.
We've hit the 3-minute warning. BC in charge by 20.
It's for men.
Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Wendy's Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt. It's back, only at Wendy's. Now that's better. Well, the message was being able to close out these games. We've mentioned the record, 3-6 with leads after 3 quarters. 10th third quarter lead tonight, and the Lions looks like they're going to close it out. Jennings with a fake on the fly sweep and takes a hit. And it's going to be 3rd down. Do you send Leone out, or do you go for it on 3rd down with a 20-point lead? Looks like they're going to stay on the field here. Well,
trying to run down the clock rather than try and go up by 23 here.
Well, the only issue would be a block. So we'll see what they do on 3rd and 5. They give it to Harris, trying to get outside, and does! Andrew Harris in his 100th game is over 100 yards. And the Lions hold on to the football.
And he was heading to the corner before he got the football. He knew where he wanted to go, and that was outside where he's had success all night long. He got outside, got the edge again. Andrew Harris keeps the offense on the field.
Bulk of it in the second half, and most of it actually in the 4th quarter.
100 on his 100th.
Big DeGore, counter to Harris, and it's a Harris touchdown. Closing it out tonight. And maybe sending a bit of a message that this team still
has a run game. Yeah, I agree.
And maybe one to worry about. Boy, when they've got both phases going, they're scary.
Well, and how much will that help a young quarterback in Jonathan Jennings when he can get that run game going? Offensive line, night and day difference in their run blocking.
And Leone has got this one. 40 on the board for the BC Lions.
That's what I'm talking about, Drew. Where's you running, baby?
And just for fun, I went back to look at left tackle Tommy Draham again. And once again, just taking his man, again, Brian Hall, taking him and driving him inside. Harris could have probably taken that hole, but he saw Rico Murray, so he was a little more patient, holds for a second. Dryheim keeps pushing his man to a point where Brian Hall says, okay.
Ticats had not surrendered 30 points in a game this season. 27, the most in a win against Toronto. But a couple of fourth quarter touchdowns for Andrew Harris have put this one away. And even 1,000 yards might be available here tonight for Andrew Harris. He's 13 away to cap his 100 CFL game if he gets that opportunity. Squib kick and look out. Has to be chased back by Caldwell. And Caldwell brings it back over the 25. We've talked a lot about it because the Lions had been talking a lot about the lead in the fourth quarter, and there was one message, and you heard it at halftime.
What do you think the message is going to be at halftime here for you guys?
Finish. That's all I'm on for the rest of the year. Finish, finish, finish 4 quarters.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Yes, message was heard.
Yeah, it was a message that was talked about all yesterday as well. You know, and they played Edmonton twice. Very good football team and great defense. And felt like they had better than a good chance to win both of those Edmonton games. Edmonton came back and beat you. We showed you that. So here's the crossover standings.
Decision desk has put the win on the board. They've got Toronto next and finish against Calgary. There are the games for Montreal, and the Bombers play tomorrow. Remember, the Bombers down by 2, but if they can get even with those teams, they get the tiebreaker.
That's right. And Montreal has to win outright. They have to be better in the standings. Point ahead in the standings.
Matthews throws. It's complete. Up at the 40-yard line, a first down for Underwood.
Montreal can do it. Be the first time in CFL history that an Eastern team crossed over to the West for the playoffs. But we've got a race down to the wire, and we've got a couple of young quarterbacks that are pretty exciting to watch. One is Jonathan Jennings, who can spin it.
Back in the hands of Gable. And pickup of around 5. Time for the Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by Nissan, the official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
Well, honorable mention to Andrew Harris, who finished the game and got the finish with 119 yards. But keep in mind, before he got those last 2 touchdowns, Jennings had built a 2-possession lead on 247 yards passing, completing 70% and throwing 3 touchdowns against 1 interception. So Jonathan Jennings is our player of the game. Honorable mention. They could share it because Andrew Harris closed.
Nice piece of running by C.J. Gable. What a run that was. Cross midfield down to the BC 50-yard line.
Exciting player to watch. And we can't in this league have enough good quarterbacks. See in the game before us, Ricky Ray, little playing action.
Kevin Glenn making a difference in Montreal, and
a lot better performance for him than game 1, yes.
But 2 young guns here. 2 guys we'll be watching for a few years, you'd expect. Hand off straight ahead, and it's Anthony Woodson bulldogging down inside the 35 on the final play of the game. But an enormous win for the Lions, one they desperately needed, keeping pace with the Alouettes who won earlier on the night. And for the 4th straight visit to BC Place, the Ticats go away empty-handed. Impressive night for the Lions, their best defensive effort. A 40-point explosion, great on the ground, great through the air. Final score 40-13, so long for BC Place. SportsCenter is next.